Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu, and as usual, coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely Houston, Texas. Always a privilege to come to you with what is going on in Africa and, of course, where we call the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Thank you for tuning in. If you are joining from anywhere in Africa, please, my greetings to you, and those of you joining in from Europe, from Asia, from the United States, South America, and of course North America, including Canada. Thank you for joining the broadcast today. This promises to be very, very illuminating and exciting too, but of course very, very informative. Do me the favor as usual, if you are joining by way of Facebook, go ahead, hit your share button. Hit your share button and let others join the platform. We have made some changes on our Facebook platform. Facebook may not be coming to you from the regular platform. We are having a new platform, but I believe most of you are already subscribed to that new platform. So some people may be displaced today, but eventually you will get it. But for those of you joining the new Facebook platform, do me the favor, hit the share button so those who do not know we have changed platforms can locate it. And of course, the same thing if you are watching by way of YouTube, please do me the favor, share out the link. Share out the links for those who are not yet on the platform. And do not forget to subscribe also. Do not forget to subscribe on our channel on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you joining by way of satellite from all over the continent of Africa, thank you for doing so. We look forward to a very, very exciting broadcast today. Please stay put. I will be right back.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country. Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, You'll benefit from our
All
extensive
right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put. And again, do me the favor, hit your share button. And if you are joining by way of Facebook, you would have realized you are joining on a new platform different from the one we've been using in the past. I love you to do me the favor, hit your share button, because many people would not realize we have changed Facebook platform. So please hit your share button if you are watching by way of Facebook. I can see that only 5 people have joined the new Facebook page. So please do those who are out there the favor, and they will be able to join. But I see quite a handful of you on YouTube already. Thank you for tuning in. Today I bring to you information, updates on what is going on in Ambazonia, and I like to start with what happened in Pinyin and Bamenda. What happened in Pinyin and Bamenda, and I would like the studio to get those images to you. The gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, that you find on your screen there, I understand he was called General JC. He was called General JC, and he belonged to the ADF. He was killed, we learned yesterday, by La République du Cameroon forces. And not only there, another horrible incident took place in the Pinyin, as you can see in the images on your screen. Two guys were picked up, and as you can see on your screen, some of the images are so bad we cannot bring them to you, but you can see on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, this took place in Pinyin. A day ago were 2 gentlemen there. I don't know what I should call them, gentlemen, but 2 thugs, kidnappers, were picked up in Pinyin, we understand, by the population, and they were literally killed. You can find it there. It's a horrible sight. I apologize for bringing those images, but I just have to show you what is going on in Ambazonia. What is burning there is not log of woods, but those are real people receiving mob justice from the population of Pinyin. Now, what is important about this story from Pinyin, ladies and gentlemen, is the report that is out there. Some people, especially on the Mimi Mefo, we have seen information to the effect that the boys you see receiving mob justice there were Amba restoration fighters. That is not the case. It is important to note that the people you see receiving mob justice from civilians in Pinyin, they were not Ambazonia restoration fighters. They were rogues who went out pretending to be Ambazonia restoration fighters, but their job wasn't to fight the enemy. Their job was to kidnap people, torture them, and extort them, take money in millions from them. In fact, if the audio of this video were to be turned on, you will hear people shouting, "They took money from us. They collected money from us." You will hear people saying so. So I want to make it very clear that people should note the guys you see on your screen receiving mob justice by the civilians, by the people, they were not Ambazonia restoration fighters. They were robbers, thieves, who have rained down mayhem made life difficult, tough on the civilian population in Pinyin local government area. And so finally, the people laid their hands on them and decided to take the laws into their hands by summarily executing them the way you see on your screen. In Bamenda, where I brought you the image of General JC, this guy whose face you see there, he was said to be a commander, a general for the ADF. Again, he was said to be a general for the ADF. Yesterday, I guess it was yesterday, he's hide out in a hotel in Bamenda. They call it Lira Hotel. This gentleman you find on your screen, he was hiding in a hotel. He was a chief ransom collector. He will send out his boys. They will go out, abduct people, take millions in ransoms, and bring back to him, and he was living in a hotel. They go out, he sends out the boys, they go out, intimidate people, arrest people, torture them, and then extort millions of CFA from them. That is what this guy was doing. Now, again, as you can see from his dressing, he was an ADF commander. I'm also being told that he was the chief security. He used to be the chief security officer for Chairman John Fru Ndi. Apparently, he joined the ADF later on and became the chief ransom taker in Bamenda. When you hear of Intanka, you hear of Alabukam, you hear of Chumba, you hear all the places where people are being picked up and taken to or tortured and ransoms taken at. This is the face, or this was the face behind those abductions, tortures, and ransom takings. That is the face. Now, that is this information of these two killings. This is what is important about them. What is important about them is that I hope that patriots, real and genuine restoration fighters, see what is happening here. If you are in the bush fighting for liberation, fighting for freedom, this will never be your portion. This should never be your portion. Now, when the population begin to take laws into their own hands by carrying out mob justice as the one we see here, or when fellows like this guy of the ADF are picked up and killed by La République du Cameroon forces betrayed by the population. This is something I have advocated for a few months ago, especially when the ADF went out burning people's cars, burning people's taxis, burning people's homes, abducting people and extorting them millions in CFA francs. This thing, we do not support this kind of punishment. Absolutely not. However, let me add this. If anybody is out there exploiting innocent civilians to get himself rich overnight, whatever punishment that is meted upon that person, they deserve it. They deserve it, because these are the people who want to mess up with what people have sacrificed for over 8 years now. For over 8 years now. You have fighters who are in the bushes. They don't have anywhere to sleep. They sleep under the rain. They sleep under the sun. They have no beds. They don't eat the kind of food that everybody out there is eating. They don't have the kind of comfort that everybody out there has. And yet, these boys that you see on your screen, they are out there trying to mess the work that true, genuine restoration fighters are trying to achieve. If you find anyone like this in your neighborhood, do not spare them. Do not spare them. They want to mess up the sacrifice of many who have laid down their lives to fight to where we are today in this struggle for Ambazonia's independence. So we ask you, you come across fellows like this in your neighborhood, whatever you can do, you do it. And I made it very clear before that anybody who is out there saying they are fighting for Ambazonia, but instead of fighting for Ambazonia, they kidnap people and take ransom, you find them, give up on them. We need to sanitize this struggle for Ambazonia. Civilians, ladies and gentlemen, civilians should never be running away from their defenders. That is it. Civilians should have no reason to run away from those who call themselves liberation fighters or freedom fighters. Civilians should be running into their hands for protection. But where they begin to extort people and destroy people's property, they are no longer fighting for the same freedom, the same independence that we do. They are fighting for their stomach. And if you find them, give up on them. I repeat it, give up on them. Do anything that you can do to eliminate them from this struggle, from this movement, Ambazonia's independence movement. That is the point. I hope that it gets out there and everybody gets it. And if you are out there, you still want to continue this thing called kidnapping and ransom taking, well, definitely your own day will come, like this guy's own day came and they pick him up. Your own day will come. We urge you, if you are carrying a gun out there, in the name of Ambazonia, do it honestly. Do it without punishing the civilian population. Do it without extorting them. Do it without torturing them. Do it without making life miserable for them. But if you choose to continue in your abductions and stealing, well, they say 99 days for the thief, just one day for the owner. And that one day may mean the end of your life as you know it. All right, I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay put. I'm just about beginning here. I'll be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country. Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling.
I think this is a Cameroonian press, Mr. President.
Our nation is bilingual, English and French, and is therefore fertile ground for American investors. Our two governments have signed an agreement on the reciprocal protection of investments, which will certainly encourage them. Assistance from the American government has been of great help to us, particularly in the fields of agriculture, education, and health. We do appreciate the contribution of the United States to our social life and hope that the number of cultural exchange programs will increase. Since our foreign policy is based on international cooperation, we count very much on the United States. Our relations are characterized by mutual friendship. I hope that the United States will help defend our ideals of peace and freedom, which are often threatened in Africa. Your nation and President have our total confidence. We congratulate President Reagan on his meeting in Geneva with Mr. Gorbachev. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you for your attention. Thank you for your attention. How many of you really do believe that Paul Biya could speak the level of the Queen's or the King's language that you heard him there, ladies and gentlemen? They have always want us to believe that it's a bilingual country. It's a bilingual country. But never. We heard Paul Biya went to Bamenda. When was that? The Greek show or something. He said, I am now in Bamenda. He went to Biya. I am in Biya. And then in after saying so in two sentences, he switched. He switched to French, the French language in Bamenda and in Biya, exclusive Anglo-Saxon territory. And Biya came to the U.S., addressed Ronald Reagan completely read the entire speech in the English language. And he actually told them that Cameroon is a bilingual country. Cameroon is a bilingual country, as you heard it in that statement from Paul Biya. But that is something that we all know has only been in the books. You can't believe that Biya could speak the English language at this level. And for the 42 years that he has lorded over Cameroon, that man never addressed Ambazonians, Southern Cameroonians, in the English language. Not once. Not even when he descends on Biya and Bamenda. Everything is in French. And yet they keep on fooling our people to let them know we are brothers, we are a bilingual country, and the president can go to Bamenda, go to Biya, cannot speak a word in English. But he flies to America, he reads an entire speech in the English language. So, ladies and gentlemen, some people say this is a language war. Of course, it's more than that. But it is one of the problems that we are fighting against in this movement for a free and independent Ambazonia. That we have a country that says it's a bilingual country, they expect us to speak French when we cross over to their territory, and even in our own territory, they want us to speak French within the confines of our own boundaries. And then when we cross over to their boundaries, they expect us to also speak French. When they send their teachers into our schools, they speak French. When they cross over into our territory, they speak French. They want us to believe we are brothers. So, ladies and gentlemen, if many of you still do not understand the reason why we've been fighting for 8 years and counting, that was one of it. Making Paul Biya able to speak fluently in the English language in its entirety in the speech presentation before Ronald Reagan. I think that was probably in the early 80s when he just took power in that country and visited the USA. So, again, these are things that I bring them to you not because there is anything so special. It is because we should understand the reason why we keep on fighting to liberate ourselves. Biya will never speak English anywhere within the geographical territory that they call Cameroon, including Ambazonia, because it should not be spoken. It should not be spoken. He went to France and told an interviewer that they have been trying to integrate, assimilate us. That explains why they cannot come to our territory and speak in the French and speak in the English language, because no, it's not a bilingual country as they want us to believe. It's a French language country, and everything English should be decimated. Should not be spoken. When I come back, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to come to you with my first monologue on the implosion. In La République du Cameroon, what is awaited in that country politically. And of course, my main subject for the day has to do with the deception that we see nursing its ugly head around Ambazonia. I call it wolves emerging in the house. Please don't touch your remote. I'm just starting.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country. Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I bring you my first monologue for the day that has to do with what I call an implosion. Political implosion taking place in La République du Cameroon. Of course, they still continue to live in denial. Remember, at the outbreak of the Ambazonian war, they said there were 2 cubes of sugar, it would be over. They live in denial. They are doing it again. For over 4 decades, Cameroon has been a nation held together by authoritarian control, political repression, and a fragile ethnic balance. Today, however, all signs point to an imminent implosion. What began in 2016 as a push for self-determination by the former British Southern Cameroons, now Ambazonia, has spiraled into full-blown conflict. The economy is in free fall. The social contract between the state and its citizens has been completely eroded, and the delicate ethnic equilibrium is breaking apart. As Paul Biya, Cameroon's 91-year-old dictator, teeters between death, multiple power blocks, both within and outside his government, are positioning themselves for a potentially catastrophic showdown. The first and most pressing fault line in Cameroon's disintegration is the ongoing war for Ambazonian independence. When Biya declared war on independentists in 2017, he believed his military would quickly crush resistance. 8 years later, Ambazonian forces remain undefeated. The war has not only drained the government's already stretched financial resources, but it has also severely weakened the military, rendering it incapable of sustaining order across the entire country. Cameroon's inability to contain Ambazonian fighters, while simultaneously failing to meet its military's logistical needs, has emboldened other factions within the country. The result? Today, Ambazonia is effectively standing. The government in Yaoundé has lost control over much of Ambazonia, and despite ongoing propaganda, it is clear that the conflict is unwinnable. While Ambazonian forces continue their fight for full international recognition, the government in Yaoundé is crumbling under its own weight. Cameroon's economy has tanked under Biya's rule, exacerbated by a combination of war spending, corruption, and global economic instability. Inflation is at a record high, unemployment is souring, and the government is struggling to pay civil servants. In the past few months, there have been multiple strikes by teachers, healthcare workers, and even the military over unpaid salaries. The public sector, once the bedrock of the government's patronage system, is now in revolt. In major cities such as Douala in Yaoundé, anti-government sentiment is at an all-time high. There are reports of increasing incidents of civil unrest, protests, and organized strikes as citizens struggle under economic hardship. Many believe it is only a matter of time before these tensions erupt into an all-out revolution. Cameroon's fragile ethnic balance is collapsing. For decades, Biya's regime has favored the Belu-Beti ethnic group, creating deep-seated resentment among the Basas, the Bamilekis, and the Grand Nord. With Biya's health declining and speculation that he may attempt to transfer power to his son, Frank Biya, ethnic factions are preparing for a fierce secession battle. The Bamilekis and Basas believe this is their opportunity to seize power, citing decades of electoral fraud that have kept them out of leadership. Meanwhile, in the Grand Nord, there is growing sentiment that power must return to them, considering their dominance under Cameroon's first president, Amadou Ahidjo. The imprisonment of key northern figures like Hamadou Yahya and Iya Mohammed has only fueled this resistance. Recent incidents confirm the rising tensions. Just a few days ago, the Secretary General of the Presidency, Ferdinand Ngongo, and the Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atenganji were ambushed in the Grand North with their helicopter grounded by an angry population. This came just weeks after a regional governor was beaten by a mob. In a desperate attempt to control the narrative, the government's communication minister, Rene Sadi, claimed that an intercepted large arms cache was meant for international trafficking rather than local insurgency. However, few believe this cover-up. The reality is that multiple factions within Cameroon are arming themselves for an inevitable confrontation. Biya's government is on borrowed time. If the regime attempts to orchestrate a power transition to Frank Biya, Cameroon could descend into a multi-front civil war. The Ambazonians are already out, and soon other regions may follow suit. The army is overstretched, corrupt, and incapable of handling internal uprisings, making a successful transition nearly impossible. Furthermore, the Biya's regime long-standing dependence on France is waning. With French influence shrinking in Africa following major losses in Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Biya can no longer count on Paris to prop up his failing government. The international community, particularly the United States, has grown increasingly vocal about Cameroon's human rights abuses, further isolating Paul Biya on the global stage. The signs are clear. Cameroon is imploding. From the north to the south, from the west to the east, there is growing consensus that the status quo is unsustainable. While Biya's government clings to power, the forces of change are gathering momentum. The only question that remains is, will Cameroon collapse into a violent, multi-front civil war, or will its people force a new political order before the inevitable implosion? Either way, the days of Paul Biya's regime are numbered. And that is my first monologue to you today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I am supposed to have my panel with me. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear like any has joined. I see Comrade Derek. Please, you are connected but frozen. Adjust your camera. I can't come to you at the moment until your camera is adjusted. Please, Derek, do that and join the show. But let me get back to this story, ladies and gentlemen. In the images you find on your screen, you find there the Northeast. The Northeast essentially ambushing Ferdinand Ngo, who happens to be the Secretary General at the Presidency in La République du Cameroon. He was visiting Kuseri precisely. Kuseri precisely, alongside Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanga Nji. And in these images, we find the local elite, the chiefs, accosting the Secretary General and telling him he cannot leave until he has addressed them. We are told that he was held captive or hostage until he was forced to pass the night in Kuseri in order to address the population the next day before he could leave. Now just imagine if this ambush or hostage was happening in Ambazonia. But one thing first, I would like to appreciate the strength, the courage, and the bravery of these Kuseri or Grand North elites who will not take nonsense, take rubbish that happens in Yaoundé or happen in Ambazonia with the so-called chiefs, Ambazonian chiefs. These guys had the temerity to accost Ferdinand Ngongo and Paul Atanganji and spoke truth before their faces, telling them, you must address the neglect that happens in this part of the country. The guy's helicopter could not take off. The military was right there. They could do nothing. I am imagining that if this was Ambazonia, they would have shot everybody there to death. The soldiers would have shot all these chiefs and whoever they are, the MIs and the Alajis that you find. If this was Ambazonia, if this was happening in Ambazonia, the Cameroon soldiers would have shot these people all to death. No, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. One reason being, these people had the boldness, the courage, the bravery to confront who they believe stands between them and development in their community. They confronted him and told him, you must address the underdevelopment. You must address the underdevelopment in our area. In this other image, you can find there is Ferdinand Ngongo in the black jacket and the jeans pants with the black cap there. I think next to him should be the governor of the state there. Atanganji is right behind Ferdinand Ngongo wearing goggles. You can see there, I think he's in a jacket, a flowery jacket next to the governor also, and Ferdinand Ngongo is standing in front, and that is where they are accosting the population. That is where they are approaching the population, this population that you find here. And the population, the helicopter, no, actually in that image, they were departing into their helicopter. They were moving into their helicopter and they were accosted by the mob, the population that stopped them, ladies and gentlemen, and said, you are going nowhere until you address the neglect of the Grand North. And we are told that Paul Atanganji and Ferdinand Ngongo had to spend the night in Kuseri until they had to address these people. This is how people fight for their regions, ladies and gentlemen. But how about Ambazonia? Ambazonian chiefs go to Biya or they go to Bamenda or they go to Yaoundé, they bring them small envelopes in occasions like this one where the Secretary General at the presidency is coming. If these chiefs or MIs and Alajis were Ambazonian chiefs, they will go to this occasion and Ferdinand Ngongo will pass envelopes to them of 10,000 francs. They will say, yeah, this is a good man. They take their money and go home and forget about the masses. But no, these people did not do that. I hope that Ambazonian chiefs and elite can learn from such examples. This is how you show bravery and resilience against a regime that has enslaved essentially everybody in our territory except the privileged. So that took place in the Grand North, and that is what I am talking about, ladies and gentlemen. The Grand North is prepared to fight. But you know what is happening? As in 2016, when Ambazonia stood up, La République du Cameroon said, oh no, 2 cubes of sugar, it will be over. They are about to make the same mistake, and there is no antidote to it. It has grown to the level they can no longer stop it. It has grown to the level they can no longer stop it. We have seen a large cache of arms in Maroua just a month ago. René Sade came out and said, oh no, it wasn't an insurgency being built up. It was an international trafficking ring that had the arms. Now we saw their governor beat up by again another mob. I think that was again in Maroua around there. And the people in the north are standing up. They have said, it is our time. It is our time. Derek, please, I'm waiting for you to set up your microphone, your camera, and get seated, please. And make sure you have your camera horizontal as usual. All right. So many people in the north, they have had enough. They have had enough to the extent that within 2 months, they had the governor beaten in front of the army. They had the Secretary General at the presidency held hostage with his minister, Paul Atangenchi. They are piling arms. They are piling up arms to defend themselves when the moment comes. They want Iya Mohammed to be released. They want Hamadou Yaya. They want Hamadou Yaya to be released, and so many other Nordis who have been held in detention centers in Yaoundé. That is why we call it an implosion. You have the Bassas, the Bamilikis, who believe that it is their turn to rule the country. The Beti Bulu faction is that they believe they have to maintain power. It has to pass over back. They have to stay with them either through Biya himself or through the son. Through the son. The good thing is that Ambazonia has no war to fight in La République du Cameroon. We are in our own war of freedom, and we are focused. And that is why I pity those who are out there saying, let's have alliances with federalists. Let's have alliances with one Cameroonese. I pity those who are making those statements out there. They cannot see. They see like the Pharisees, far to see and sad to see. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not lost thousands of people, including my own brother, Field Marshal the King, to go and settle and form some unholy alliances with federalists, with one Cameroonese. No, we are bent on getting what we call a free and independent Ambazonia, nothing less. But you are free to go and fight for federalism. Let's see how it ends at the end of the day. But comrades, the moment has come. We open our eyes and see far ahead what lies ahead in La République du Cameroon, and consecrate our resources in time to prepare for such a moment. Federalism should be off our vocabulary. It should be off our vocabulary. Not now. Never. But let me take you to another event that took place in the La République du Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking at the pictures celebrating the 92nd anniversary of the King Paul Biya in La République du Cameroon. Again, those are images celebrating the anniversary of Paul Biya in La République du Cameroon. He was celebrating his 92nd birthday. 92nd birthday a few days ago. And you can look, everybody is there. Everybody is there except one person, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody is there except one person. I hope you can tell me who that one person is. Guess who is not there? Guess who you do not find there? You can only find him in posters right there, right? He is omnipresent, omniscience, and that person is Paul Biya. All these people are gathered to celebrate. You can see Ferdinand Gongo seated there. Everybody is there, but Paul Biya himself, the celebrant, ladies and gentlemen, isn't there. What a country. What a country. Now look at the youths celebrating Paul Biya. Where is that? Please put up that image of the youths, the CPDM youths celebrating Paul Biya. Okay, look at that. The youths celebrating Paul Biya. And on his birthday, at his birthday party, and Paul Biya is not there. Paul Biya isn't there. It's quite unfortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a brief break out. And please, I hope that my guests, they can lock in. Dr. Atienjo waiting for you to lock in, please. I can see that you are locking, but your image is dark. Your image is dark. Turn on your camera and make sure you are using the Chrome browser. The Chrome browser, ladies and gentlemen. But again, Comrade Derek, I'm waiting for you. I can see you trying to set up. But ladies and gentlemen, you can see everybody is present in this occasion, but the one person who should be there is not there. That is Paul Biya. He is not there. We didn't see Paul Biya on the 11th of February. And talking about 11th of February, I'd like to show you something here, ladies and gentlemen. This is 11th February in our law, in the BLM. 11th February, 11th February in our law, in the BLM. Now, if you would think those are students, right? Look at them. They are just children picked up in the quarters, assembled on that field to do a march past. Again, that is a law in the BLM. You can see they gave them some T-shirts to put up. You can look at how many of them are even there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including the 3 adults there. They are celebrating 11. What a shame! What a shame! This is a combination of what we call an implosion. An implosion that is happening in La République du Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, I will go out, and when I come back, I will try to bring in my guests before I take you into the main subject of the day, which is the wolves emerging in the house. Please do not touch your remote. I'm going to be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying put. I am being joined by my only guest for now, Derek. If you can, yeah, adjust. Good. I want you to adjust your camera there.
Is it okay, Byron?
That's good. That is good. Centralize it. Supposed to be joined by Dr. Fidelis Atienjo and Chairman Elvis Komita and Agbo Derek joining me from Norway. I'm still waiting for others to join the broadcast. Derek, it's a pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you, Comrade Chris.
Okay, it's been a while that I saw your face. Now you look more young. You look younger, and probably more handsome out
there. You know, I believe that God wants me to see a free Ambazonia. That is why I'm looking this way. You know.
All right. Let's get into the business. I don't know how much of what I said you listen to, but I was talking about the implosion that is taking place in La République du Cameroon. We see what is happening in the Grand Nord, where either the governor or the administrators are held hostage, or we see a cache of arms telling you the people are prepared to fight. Do we have a multi-front war emerging or eruption emerging in La République du Cameroon? Now, remember, Ambazonia is not there. I'm not including Ambazonia. When I say Cameroon, I mean Cameroon as against, out of Ambazonia. What is your sense of what is happening there, please?
Well, thank you, Comrade Chris, for giving me this opportunity again to speak to the Ambazonia people, and I also want to thank the Ambazonia people for keeping on the struggle. And we believe that this is our time, especially this 2025. We are going to do our best, to take this liberation struggle to its logical conclusion. I say, what is happening in Cameroon, if it had not happened, I would have believed that the people are not yet politically conscious. But what we see now is some level of political consciousness growing up in that part of the continent, I would say, the continent of Africa. Remember, the Cameroon, Gabon, Cameroon, Gabon, and Chad were one of the most unconscious or politically unconscious people among the French colonial system. Maybe that was because of the way the French handled them during the colonial period. The difficulty they had with the French has not actually gone out. People don't even know that the French actually killed more people in La République du Cameroon than other French colonies they are projecting outside. So maybe that tamed them and added to what Ahijo himself did to the Bamile case. So I am happy to see what these people are doing, because if you live in a country where people sit and wait for an old man to die, where the politicians, the opposition sits and wait for an old man to die so that they can take power, is to tell you that country is politically dead. It's a country where the politicians have no political project. Because if they had a political project, they will not be praying for Paul Biya to die. They will have to mobilize the people and bring forth that project and push out the regime. So if the politicians cannot do that, and I see the young people mobilizing themselves, and even including some of the old people coming out to challenge the old regime, I believe it's already indicating some level of political change in that country. I just pray that they will keep on and not to give up, because we have seen situations where Cameroonians, get up, and then later on everything dies, especially when Mr. Tanganji comes with his Molinex. yeah, so...
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So you can see the level of challenge. We hope this will continue, because if it doesn't, then Mr. Paul Biya will continue to do what he is doing. And there's something we should note here, is that it's not even Mr. Paul Biya. It is these very elites, we see around doing all these things. Mr. Paul Biya just sits him there. They take him, put in front. He's just that mask. But behind you have these thieves, these corrupt politicians called elites, who are doing all this all this nonsense we see around in La République, Cameroon, and to some extent extending it to our own territory. So we hope that these people will keep on and learn from what the Ambazonians did in 2016, and then bring forth a change in their country.
Compare what you see in the north with the chiefs, the Alhajis, and so on and so forth that you find there, confronting not just Ferdinand Gongo and Paul Atangenji, even the military. If that was in Ambazonia, those people will be shot down. Nobody cares, I guess, isn't it?
Exactly. So that is to tell you, is to just to show you that we are two different people. They know their people. They know that if they shoot anybody there, then there will be a problem in that country. And they are fully aware that their population is with them when it comes to fighting Ambazonia, because their population will not want Ambazonia to leave, because they have been told already by some of their elites. They teach the children even in their schools. They tell them that if Ambazonia go away, then we are finished. That's what they tell them. Say, please, you should join the government and fight these people. And that is what they have been doing. And it is not even now. If we go far back from after the plebiscite, when we decided to work together with these people, and they corrupted everything and seized power from us, and then they have remained in power up to today. If you see, Ayijo himself was the one who convinced this parliament, the Cameroon parliamentarians, to accept even to accept the government to use the Cameroon constitution, which was what was even sent in Fumban, because their elite were not for that. The parliamentarians were not for that. But Ayijo convinced them, and told them that, look, we want to fight for our people. We want to fight to give a better life to our people. The resources they have discovered in this territory you guys want to reject, if we don't have those resources, will not be able to do anything. So the politicians, the parliamentarians saw that and told themselves that, look, let's fight for our people. If we can get this, then we'll bring the life standard of our people to a certain level. And that is what they have done. Dismantling not only taking the resources, but dismantling our institutions, our businesses, everything, and taking them over to Douala and Yaoundé. So they are fighting for their people. They are fighting for their people. It's just some few greedy ones that have made life so difficult. But among them, there are people who are really fighting to see that their people get what they had fought for since 1960. So if we look at what they are doing, you will see that they have no concern for the people of Ambazonia. And that is why I keep asking myself, why can our own people who call themselves elite, why can't they do the same? Why can't they fight as we see these Francophones fighting for their people? You see these Francophone parliamentarians fighting for their people. Comrade Chris, all what these people are doing is for their territory.
Right.
You see them fighting Ambazonia is for their territory, is for their people. So why can't our own people do same? if you when I try to compare our people, our so-called elites, and those that were before in the Funchals era, I begin to see that these current elites are real criminals. They are the real people putting us or keeping us in bondage in La République du Cameroon. If these people can get out of our track, then I believe that we will go a very long way. But they are there because they tell the world that, look, we joined these people through a constitutional agreement, so we are with them. That is why we are parliamentarians, we are representing our people there. That which is all wrong. The referendum itself was fraudulent. It was not a referendum. It was not actually a referendum. You know, so all of us, we know what that referendum represents. So our people should learn from what these elites are doing. And when you look their military, they will not touch them. They will not, even to beat them, they will do nothing, because they know that those people are right. They are fighting for their population. So let the Ambazonian elites do same. When these people come to Biya, they come to Bamenda, Kumba, Lepialem, let our elites stand up against them. Let them make them understand that enough is enough. Our people will no more take it. And the time is coming. We will no more take it.
Well, thank you, comrade. Let me bring in Dr. Atienjo, who just joined, get his take on this. Dr. Fidelis, you see what is happening in the Grand Nord. The Grand Nord in La République du Cameroon, we all know, consists of all the three northern regions, where there have been growing tensions over there against Cameroon administrators. Again, the first one, we saw a cache of large arms in that area a month ago. Then we saw a governor held hostage and beaten in front of arms carrying military and gendarmes. We also see in this case the Atanga Nji and Ferdinand Ngo being held hostage and forced to pass the night in Kusuri, prevented from getting into their helicopters to fly out. What do you make of this? I call it an implosion. Is La République du Cameroon sitting on the cake? An explosive?
Well, thank you, Comrade Chris, and I also want to appreciate what the other member of the panelists has said. It's a pleasure having me here today. About what is happening in Cameroon today is quite an implosion, because the tension is actually sucking inward, not outwards. Because when it is outwards, it means that it's going to explode. But imploding means that it is sucking. The pressure is actually sucking into the core, and this speaks a lot to us here, because you can see that the system has been decaying under the watchful eyes of the Beti clan, who are leading the country. If you look at the government, the way everything is structured, you see that most of the ministers, influential ministers, come from the south. When I mean the south, I mean the littoral and the central south, the one they used to call central south, which means Yaoundé, Eboloa, and the east, and then littoral stands there. So you see, power is concentrated in the south, and the people of the north, they think that they feel entitled to the fact that the first president of Cameroon was Aijo, who was from the north, and again, seeing what is happening here can tell you about people who are hungry and they want to help their own people. They have seen that the system is decaying. Things are not happening the way they are supposed to be happening, and they are trying to fight for their own people. I just want to take this and relate to the situation that is happening in Ambazonia today. is quite a different situation because the mentality of those in the north is different from the mentality of those in southern Cameroons, to call it in that way. You see, when a minister is visiting the southwest region or the southern zone or Ambazonia, you see the tone of Atanganji when he recently visited southwest. His tone was a commanding tone in which like he was imposing to the people of southwest region. And now when you went to the northwest, he did the same, imposing. So you see that these people, when they go and meet southern Cameroonians or southern Cameroons, what happens is that they go there and impose. They are telling them what they want them to do, not what they wish that they could do for their own, for their betterment. So this is a different scenario here. I'm just trying to corroborate with what the former speaker said here. Our own brothers and sisters who are serving in the government are the main, those are the main people killing the dreams of southern Cameroonians. Because if they were fighting for us, like Mbelambuki stood in the Senate, I was crying over Spearmint, crying. How long have they been crying over the deep sea port in Limbe? How long have they deceived the Fako people, the Southwest people, indigenous of that area, that a seaport is going to be built there? Sonara is there. Look at the stretch of road that leads from Sonara to Douala. That is like a road going to the farm in a place like United States, Canada, and also the Western world. There is like a piece of road going to the farm. That road is supposed to have a two-way traffic, like 5 lanes on one side, another 5 lanes on the other side. But these people are unable to advocate for that. When they talk, they shut them down, say, shut up. If you don't do this, we are not going to give you a ministerial post. We are not going to give you, when the budget is being drawn, you are not going to have budget for roads constructions and so forth and so on in your area. That is the policy of intimidation that is happening within Ambazonia. Now, when you look at what the Northeast have done, this cannot happen in Ambazonia. There is no way our funds, there's no way politicians from Ambazonia can stand and say, hold a minister hostage, that you must produce the result. Because if they ever do that, they are going to kill everybody that is going to be there, even flies that are there, they are going to kill them and then punish them. And they're even going to dismiss them from office. They will tell them, don't come back to Yaoundé. But look at what is happening in Kosori. That is an example of people fighting for themselves and La Republic protecting their own people. Because if you look at the military, they were just padding them, please, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. And the minister and the secretary general at the presidency also, they heard their cry and they spent a night there to meet, and they met with those people and listened to them. And they must have made promises to them, and those promises were made written on stone because they were going to be fulfilled. Because if they do not fulfill those promises, there's nothing they're going to do about it. I mean, they have to do something about it. So it's a contrast of a situation that is happening in Ambazonia, because that is where my interest lies. If we can get whatever we need in Ambazonia to grow, that is my interest. I don't care about what is happening in the north. I don't care about what is happening in East Province. I don't care about what is happening in Central South. They used to call it Central South or Littoral. I care about what my people will benefit. So in this situation, yes, Cameroon is imploding because there's the chaos is precipitated by a government that has failed the people for over 40 something years. I mean, if you add the 25 years, 27 years of Aijo, then 43 years of, you add that this country has been in this situation, and the people are crying that yes, the Yaoundé regime has failed us. We need to do something. There are certain demands. If you look at the pictures well, you see that the old people, those people, the mayors that held this hostage, look at they are very old people. Look at their age. They are old. You look at it. So the system that they have planted is a system where the youths are told that, it's not yet time. The future belongs to you. The future belongs to now. For now, the moment is ours. And the youths now are aging. The youth now Cameroon has changed the narrative now. The definition of a youth in Cameroon, anybody even 60 years can call himself or herself a youth in Cameroon at this moment because our ancestors are still in power and doing what they are doing, the chaos they are doing. Yes, I agree with you that Cameroon is imploding because the situation is getting worse on daily basis. And what really puzzles me, disturbs me, is that our brothers from West Cameroon or Southern Cameroons who are there seeing what is happening and not even have not come to the realization that they are being cheated or there's a problem in Cameroon. They are still in that kind of
All
illusion. They are
right.
yeah, so it's kind of very funny and disturbing to me.
Yeah, all right. Hold on there, Dr. Atiejo. I'd like to play, get this clip to be played for both of you. Listen to, watch what is going on there and listen to what is going on there. In this clip, we have Paul Atanganji essentially rigging the election before the election. Would you believe that the Minister of Territorial Administration, that is in the U.S., you will call it the Minister of the Interior or Home
Interior.
Affairs Minister,
Yes.
he is going to different election registration centers and literally telling people how they should register. Now, this happened in this trip that they went, that they had in Kusiri. Take a look at that. That is Paul Atanganji.
Il faut bien cacher votre argent et le dehors est mauvais. Il faut bien garder votre argent. Le dehors est mauvais. Il faut bien garder, hein, parce que le dehors est mauvais. Il faut bien garder. Il faut bien cacher votre argent et le dehors est mauvais. Il faut bien garder votre argent.
So, gentlemen, when you look at that image, finding Paul Atanganji directing those people to register for the upcoming election, the question is, which party is he asking them to register for, isn't it? Dr. Atienjo, let me get back to you before Derek.
Yes, I see here. I do not really understand French that way, but I heard what he said.
There's a woman there. There's a woman there. You can see the woman with the head wrapped in a wrapper. And
It was graduate work of God.
I think he is asking her to do a fingerprint, I guess, to register for the election.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's background noise.
Okay, I can hear you. Go on. I can hear you.
Okay, you see that is a thumbprint card for you to do your fingerprint when you are voting. But the important thing there is the fact that this is a rehearsal that is going on how the rigging mechanism is going to take place. People are going to stand there and educate people. And you say, if you garde votre jambe là-bas, that is, you should guard your money very well before you do this. So it is a rigging mechanism that they have already put in place. And it is really disgraceful for a minister of state to go around educating people on how they are going to rig the election. And of course, which party are you expecting? Is the CPDM that they are teaching them on how they are going to vote? I don't know what they are scared of. Who is going to vote other than CPDM there in the north, in the far north? They are not.
The question is not about even who is going to vote. The question is, who is the Minister of Territorial Administration asking that woman, which party is he asking her to register for?
There's only one party that is in existence in that area. I don't think that there are many parties, because those small parties that were created by these people looking for positions or appointments, Biya actually appointed those people, and they all dissolved, and they are now part of the CPDM, or they are kind of surrogates associations to the CPDM. So I don't even know. It's about CPDM. Yeah, there's no other party that they could be thinking of here?
All right, let me bring in Derek to make give us his observation on what he finds there. Derek, what would you say is happening there?
Comrade Chris, what Ambazonians and Cameroonians should know is that the CPDM, from the onset of its inauguration in Bamenda, had a political agenda to rule La République du Cameroon for at least 100 years. And that is what most people don't take into account. But I think it's good to go and revisit what the party members said in Bamenda when the party was born. And we should know that the CPDM is actually some kind of refurbishment of the CNU. And it's just a continuation, which means an old wine in a new bottle. And if you look, they are actually attaining their objective. If you start looking when the CNU rule till now, you can put it together, you will find that it's more than 70 years. And they want to take another 7 years, I think from this year, this 2025. And they will do it if Cameroonians, I say Cameroon because we are Ambazonians, we are not expected to go and do any voting there. So because even if we go and vote, it will mean nothing. So Cameroonians should know that that party has already put in place a rigging mechanism to make sure that they attain that 100 years. And we should also know that when this CPDM was formed, Mr. Paul Biya was not there. That is what most Cameroonians don't even know. Maybe Ambazonians themselves don't know. Mr. Paul Biya was not there. It was just refurbished by, these very criminal elites. And then they brought Mr. Paul Biya there. So what is actually going on there, he knows nothing about even. And I don't even think the CPDM is registered in Cameroon. I think we should go and check. It's not among a registered party. So you see that it's a pure colonial party. And that is why its administrators they are behaving like colonialists. So they are not actually political, they are not actually politicians who are in a political party that was created in La République du Cameroon. So it's just a continuation of the colonial administration. So we should know, we and the citizens of La République should know that if we don't support, we don't support those who are inside La République du Cameroon who want a change, then the CPDM will keep on ruling. When I mean supporting is that, when I say we should, I'm not saying that we should go and vote, but if they need some kind of logistic, they need some kind of ideas on how we can help them, educate them, we are ready to do that. We are ready to tell them what to do. But they should know that the ball is in their hands. They should not count on Ambazonia. That time where we used to go out, they kill us, and then they gain, they take everything, is past gone. If they want anything now, they will have to fight for it. Because for the past 62 years, we go out, we fight, they kill us, we ask for political parties, we create 2, they create 320. You see, so that is the logic that we cry for roads, they come, they give us, they tie us 5 kilometers, they go down and tie them 2,000 or 1,000 kilometers. So that period is gone. There's no more crying. We'll come and cry for schools, university, they will come and give us 1, and then they go and create 4 or 5 for themselves. So that is gone. So the CPDM will rule for another 7 years if Cameroonians don't stand up. So Cameroonians stand up. And we should note something here. The issue here in Cameroon is not about election. The problem in Cameroon is not about how many people go and register. The problem is how many people are ready to defend that vote they voted or their vote? How many of them? Because if the people can defend their vote, even if it is 2 people who go and vote and put their ballot paper, Mr. Biya will be thrown out. But since the regime knows very well that the people are not ready to defend their votes, that is why you see them going to Garwa. Take note that is where they go for every time. They start going to the north, so that they will tell you that, oh no, you see, we had more militants in the north. That is why Mr. Paul Biya was able to, to carry the vote, despite the fact that they didn't vote in the northwest and southwest, or in the littoral, or the Bamile case didn't vote for them, but the north has a larger population. So that is how the mechanism, the fraud mechanism, is being put in place. And you see, just as Comrade Chris said, Mr. Dandy is there to solidify it. He knows very well. He's going there to solidify that fraud. And if Cameroonians don't stand up, the fraud will take place, Mr. Biya will win, and the CPDM will continue to do what it is doing. So let Ambazonians just sit quietly and watch at them do their fight. We should not involve ourselves. If they don't want a political transition in their country, that is their problem. We are fighting for us. Because when I see their politicians, I am asking myself, a man like Kamto wants to take power, how many AK-47 has he bought? How many? How many youths has he trained to defend that vote, to defend the vote those youths are going to put? So once you don't have any in place, any mechanism to defend the vote, forget. Mr. Tanganji will come there and tell you that Honorable Metro down of Molinex. They'll put you in the Molinex and grind you. And once they send their bees outside, everything will die down. So we should encourage them to stand up for their votes and let them put in place mechanisms to defend those votes. Once they do that, the CPDM will fold its back and run away from that territory.
All right, gentlemen, you guys hold on in there. I am going to go take a short minute break, and when I come back, I'm going to take you into the main subject of the day, the emergence of wolves from within. That is the subject of my monologue that is coming up next. Please stay put. All right, thanks for staying put, ladies and gentlemen. At this moment, I want to take you to my main subject for the day, which I titled Beware of Wolves. Beware of Wolves from within the house. From within the house. I'm sure that quite a handful of you have seen the press statement that I sent out yesterday calling for vigilance. Calling for vigilance among others. That's what this is all about. Something sneaky is unfolding in our struggle for independence. And it is time to blow the whistle. At the beginning of this year, sounded the alarm, urging Ambazonians to recognize a window of opportunity. A realignment of political events that could favor our cause. The crumbling political structure in Cameroon, coupled with a shift in leadership in the United States, presents, I said, a moment that true patriots would seize. This should have been a time for unity, for consolidating our efforts under the Ambazonia Consultative Commission, a front already in motion to align our independence movement. Instead, we are witnessing the rise of groups and more groups posturing as independence advocates while subtly working to return us to La République du Cameroon's grip. This treachery is not new. We saw it first in the emergence of Capo Daniel and J.J. Asongu's APJ, the so-called Alliance for Peace and Justice, whose manifesto leaves no room for doubt about their intentions. They openly advocate for autonomy within one Cameroon, yet they persist in misleading Ambazonians to believing they stand for independence. They do not. But as Ambazonians saw through their lies and rejected their duplicity, another actor has emerged to continue with the deception. Just days ago, Milam Atan resurfaced from obscurity, launching yet another so-called independence group, the Pro-Independence Caucus, we call it. On the surface, it might seem like another effort towards unity, but a closer look reveals the same pattern, an agenda that carefully avoids commitment to full independence while subtly aligning with federalist ideologies. The most telling sign of deception is found within the very Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, released by Milan Atam's caucus. Nowhere through its two-page statement does it boldly affirm the name Ambazonia. No. Instead, it strategically uses the term Southern Cameroons, a term often favored by those seeking federalism. The MOU goes further, defining three groups within the caucus. One, pro-independence caucus, a pro-federalist caucus, and a civil society caucus. On the surface, this may appear inclusive, but in reality, it is a smokescreen meant to blur the lines between federalists and independentists. It is a blatant attempt to deceive Ambazonians into believing that independence and federalism can coexist as part of the same vision. But let it be clear, these are irreconcilable paths leading to completely different destinations. This initiative is not a collaboration front for independence as they want you to believe. It is a calculated maneuver to dilute the struggle. The so-called pro-independence caucus, rather than calling for full separation, frames its objective as an, I quote, self-governance, a coded phrase long used by federalists to mean autonomy within Cameroon. The pro-federalist caucus, on the other hand, openly promote a federal system. And then there is the civil society caucus, supposedly representing grassroots voices. Yet we know that civil society groups based on ground zero do not operate independently, but are beholden to the dictates of La République du Cameroon. These same civil society organizations were present during the so-called Canadian Peace Initiative, where their role was to legitimize Cameroon's position rather than advance Ambazonia's independence. It is impossible to ignore the suspicious nature of Milan Atam's sudden reappearance. Why the Ambazonia Consultative Commission has successfully brought together nearly all serious pro-independence groups to forge a united direction, Milan has instead chosen to launch an entirely separate initiative filled with ambiguity and contradictions. If his intentions were pure, If he truly sought unity in the spirit of independence, the legal step would have been to align with the ACC. Instead, he has positioned himself at the helm of a new unclear structure, one that serves more to sow confusion than to advance the independence agenda. Milan's track record offers further cause for skepticism. He has long entertained federalist ideas, and there is evidence, including audio recordings, that expose his shifting stance on the independence question. His Southern Cameroon's alliance, which he positions as a strategic facilitator of this so-called collaboration front, is nothing more than a vehicle to create a perception of legitimacy. And yet, crucial questions remain unanswered. Who are the true leaders of this front? Who are the supposed pro-independence forces within it? Who are they? Why is there no clarity on their identities or their commitment to full separation from La République du Cameroon? It is evident that the purpose of this initiative is not unity, but rather to create a distraction, to foster a false narrative of division that external actors can then use as an excuse to dismiss Ambazonia's claim to independence. At a time when we see an opportunity to push our cause forward, these forces of deception are working to manufacture division, or at least the appearance of it, so that the international community can point to disunity among Ambazonians as a justification for inaction. The danger of such schemes cannot be overstated. The enemy is always watching, always looking for signs of weakness, always eager to exploit any cracks within our movement. We must not allow them to succeed. Ambazonians, this is a moment that demands vigilance. We must reject false fronts parading as unity initiatives. We must stand firm in our conviction that independence and federalism cannot be reconciled. Federalists have the right to pursue their vision for a federal Cameroon, just as we, the true independence movement, are unwavering in our pursuit of absolute sovereignty. But let no one deceive us into believing that these parts can merge into one. No, they cannot and will not. Let this be clear. Ambazonia is non-negotiable. Those who seek to dilute the struggle for their own positioning must be exposed and rejected. We welcome unity, but not deception. We welcome collaboration, but only in the spirit of true independence. If we do not guard the integrity of our cause, we risk waking up one day to find ourselves sold back into the hands of our oppressors. Let us remain vigilant, resolute, and unyielding in our pursuit of a free and independent Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my monologue on this subject of wolves in the house. Now I bring back my panel. Comrades, I'm sure you've listened to my monologue there. Let me be so clear. I am speaking for myself now. I have absolutely no issue with federalists coming together and putting their vision of what they expect Cameroon to be on the table. I have absolutely nothing, zero wrong with that. In fact, I recall that late last year I had a lengthy conversation with Dr. Simon Munzo about what federalists can do. Because Munzo was of the idea that, we, the independent movement, are always attacking them, always coming after them. And I said to him, Doctor, no, the independent movement doesn't come after you. Those who come after you don't understand what they are doing. We can work together side by side. It's still a fight. Let the federalists come together, sit in a conference and put out their agenda, their demands to La République du Cameroon, since they don't believe in independence. And at the same time, they do that, we independentists are on our side doing what we know how to do to get our independence. I said this to Dr. Monzo. If you call your conference, we are not going to criticize it, we are not going to condemn it, but stop just making empty noise around the corner. It has been 8 years. We started hearing about, these federalists. It's been 8 years. They've not had a single meeting. It's been 8 years, and the federalists have not called a single meeting. And all we are hearing is, federalists coming together with some pro-independentists. What are they coming together to do? If federalists are serious, they should gather themselves and put their MOU, their vision, their mission in a piece of paper that can be seen, that can be read, and present it to La République du Cameroon, whom they believe in. That's the point. But the idea that independentists and federalists can come together, like Milan Atam, whom you find on your screen there, want us to believe, ladies and gentlemen, it is a precursor to surrender. Absolutely what it is. Because, tell me, when you and a federalist sit on the table, tell me your point of agreement. What will be the point of agreement? Maybe Milan will let me know what point of agreement they will reach. I read a response to my press statement, which I put out from a Milan Atam, full of sarcasm and all that you can imagine. But I just smile. Milan Atam was the one who formed this thing we call interim government. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know the history of this struggle, the man on your screen was the person who formed this interim government. From the consortium to the governing council to the interim government, he was in every single meeting. But he was always speaking from both sides of his mouth, because we have audios of him preaching about the importance, maybe the need for federation. I think that was in 2017 when this thing just started. But then, right after Sisiko, they were picked up. Milan Atam disappeared from the struggle. Now suddenly we see a window of opportunity, as I have said it again and again. Everybody is trying to, get back into the fold, and getting back into the fold, they don't want to belong. No, they just want to create something where they are seen to be presiding over. Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, because somebody may think, Chris, but you just want to be the leader. I am not the leader of the ACC, Ambazonia Consultative Council. I don't want to be the leader. In a few months to come, I will be handing over this interim government to a new leader. Ladies and gentlemen, take note of that. I just want to see us do this thing right. Why can people who want to serve not see the need to come together in something that is already existing, contribute their ideas so we can speak with one voice and carry out one action? If Milan is so, of course, he cannot join the pro-independence consultative commission, because when you begin to mix the civil society, as he calls it, the pro-federalists, as he calls it, into independence, it's a mixed bag. I don't know how you compromise within the three. Anybody, anything being called a civil society, ladies and gentlemen, is part of one Cameroon. Anything being called federalist is part of one Cameroon. There are only two camps, two parties, two sides to what we call Ambazonia struggle, the Ambazonia side and the Cameroon side. For as long as you stay out there talking about civil society, talking about federalism, you are, or talking about autonomy, you are a one Cameroonese. That is what it is. And so we should, all this camouflage of federalists and civil society, which civil society? We have no civil society in Ambazonia, not that which I know of, not now. If anybody knows of one, let me know. Somebody will say, Agbobala is leading a civil society. Is Agbobala part of the independent movement? Of course not. On which side of the table, if you come to negotiation, will he sit on? He will sit on the federalist or the one Cameroonese side. That's where he will sit. So please, I am warning Ambazonians that you are the custodians of this movement for a free and independent Ambazonia. And when people are beginning to still come up, speak from both sides of their mouth, talking about autonomy there, talking about independence here, be watchful. Be watchful, because you will wake up one morning and before you know, we are back into the hands of La République du Cameroon. Be watchful about it. Now, let me bring in my panel back here. Dr. Atienjo, you listened to my monologue. Tell me, and I'm sure you have also read the statement from Milan. If I should have that statement, ladies and gentlemen, I should, let me see, I can find that statement and read that statement so that you guys understand. It should not be like I'm trying to paraphrase it to you. Let me get that statement and read it briefly. It's not a long statement. Let me read it briefly. Now, this is the statement coming out from Milan. It is coming from, he calls it the pro-independence caucus, pro-independent caucus. Well, you know, one of the problems we have is that many people think that what we are doing is a political, political opposition. The political opposition. So we now have the pro-independent caucus, like you have in political parties. But this is a press statement. It's a joint press statement dated February 13. 2025, in response to the aspirations of the people of the former Southern Cameroon. Now note, ladies and gentlemen, this statement is in 2 pages, and nowhere would you find the mention of Ambazonia. No, you won't find the mention of Ambazonia. You know, they carefully draft these things to, give the semblance that it is for independence. After all, they call it Southern Cameroon. It's still Ambazonia. So forget about Ambazonia. They water it down to try to convince you. But there are people out here like myself who can easily decipher what is in their minds when they put out these statements. So listen, the statement reads, in response to the aspirations of the people of former Southern Cameroons for better coordination by groups to advance their cause, we, the undersigned, are pleased to announce a landmark memorandum of understanding signed on December 31. I don't know why they kept it for 1 month to bring it out. Signed on December 31, 2024. By key actors in the pursuit of historically justified self-governance. Take note of that. I thought I was about to read in the historical justified independence for the Southern Cameroons or Ambazonia. No, it says by key actors in the pursuit of historically justified self-governance. They want you to believe that when you read self-governance, it means independence. No, it means autonomy. That is the language, the vocabulary of the federalists. When you see self-governance, you see Southern Cameroon without Ambazonia, that is the federalist language. Please You got to understand these things. They come in wolf's clothing, but they try to speak our language, but they are not with us. Now let me continue. This historic agreement marks a pivotal step towards unity. Yeah, right? Everybody wants unity, right? So they drop in those words to try to convince you this is what we have been looking for. Finally, right? This historic agreement marks a pivotal step towards unity, cooperation, and a collective action in the struggle for truth. I thought you want to write a struggle for independence. No. Imagine the way they use words to manipulate you. It says, and a collective action in the struggle for truth, justice, peace, and security. This is the language of independent. Independent is right? Of course not. Now it continues. For decades, factional divisions have weakened our cause. That is true. That is the only thing that may be true there. Now he continues. With this MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, we commit to shifting from internal disputes towards a cohesive strategy that challenges the injustices and human rights abuses inflicted on our people and territory. Okay? Now, the Southern Cameroon caucuses, a collaborative front. These are the different caucuses. You have the pro-independence caucus advocating for full independence as the path to self-determination. Mark the difference between self-governance and self-determination. When you see self-governance, it means independence. And so they are defining the independentists there correctly and identifying them with what they stand for. Then caucus number 2 is the pro-federalist, advancing federalist solutions. Federalist solutions while upholding self-governance. Remember from the beginning, the first paragraph of this statement states that the whole caucus is out for self-governance. And here, the pro-federalist caucus says they are here to advance the federalist solutions while upholding self-governance. That is autonomy, federation. Then you have the civil society caucus representing grassroots voices, prioritizing security, social justice, and inclusive dialogue. And then the Southern Cameroon Alliance, that is Milan Atam's own group. He says, serving as a strategic coordinator and facilitator of collaboration. Wow, wow. He has basically crowned himself, right? Let me finish this. This partnership respects ideological differences. Take note of that. I'm reading from their statement. This partnership respects ideological differences while fostering a common vision. I don't know how you foster, how you have respect for differences, ideological differences, but fostering common vision doesn't make sense to anybody. If I'm sitting on the table in an alliance with a federalist, how do I convince the federalists that we can work together? I don't know how we can do that. As I explained earlier, the federalists have the right to belong. The federalists have the right to sit and strategize and pursue their goal, their mission. Just as the independentists have been doing for the past 8 years and counting. Those are two parallels that can only meet on the negotiation table. Not that we can come together, because the moment you start coming together, your language changes from independence to autonomy to self-governance to federalism. It doesn't stay at independence. And if Milan is honest, if he is honest, he will be out telling people exactly what he means by self-governance, or bringing civil society, which do not argue for independence and telling us that they are fostering a common vision. Of course, we know it cannot work. Now, let me continue. It establishes a framework for dialogue, consensus building, and a united international engagement to seek a genuine and lasting solution to the conflict. We extend an open hand, they say, to all stakeholders. In other words, he is saying, the rest of you out there can just come and join us. The rest of you out there, interim government, SCNC, APLM, AGOVC, you guys, you can just flock in and join us, and that's what it says. We, the undersigned, stand committed to this mission and urge all parties to put the interests of our people above factional divisions. And then it is signed by one Gideon Assange. I don't know who he is for pro-independence. I've been in this struggle, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to 9 years. I don't know who Gideon Assange is, but he is a pro-independentist. Of course, I don't mean to say I know everybody. Then you have pro-federalist caucus led by one Mike Taki, and then one on the civil society caucus you have one Incham Godwill. On the Southern Cameroon Alliance, of course, Comrade Milan Atam is the general overseer of the whole thing. Let me get back to my panel. I hope you've gotten that letter in its entirety. I just wanted to make sure you get it from the way it is presented, so you don't think that Chris is trying to interpret it in his own way. You got it. Dr. Atienjo, let me come to you. You listen to the letter, you listen to my monologue. Give me your take on what you have heard, please. If you can bend your camera slightly. Okay, that's good.
Okay, Comrade Chris, I read this letter and this memo with with a lot of sadness and disappointment, given the way the letter or the memo has been articulated. The articulation is really very confusing, and is a plan to actually cajole Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, to believe that this is a group that has come to save the revolution, like how Jesus Christ came, right. And that is what they're expecting. And there are certain words in this memo that caught my attention. These are words that are very enticing and attractive to the people. When you use the word unity, that is what puts a smile in the minds of a lot of people.
It's and a clever that way of persuading the people, yeah.
Persuading the people to feel like you have something important to tell them. And then you use something like self-governance. Self-governance means that you are going to have a group in which you can actually articulate, or you can actually direct your things yourself. The people will have that opportunity to exercise their rights in order to govern the people. And then when you say something like inclusive dialogue, that is another word that kind of make people to start thinking that, okay, this is somebody who is very hospitable to me, or this group is very hospitable to me. My idea will be welcome in this group. And then we talk about ideological differences. We are going to accept ideological differences. These are cajoling words that would entice a lot of people out there, as well as the word a common vision. I just want to actually elaborate on this issue of a common vision. We have had federalists who have been preaching for years now, and they do not have an agenda. We have asked the federalists, what is your agenda? What do you have on the table? What is the roadmap of your own of your struggle? What do you have on the table to present to people of Cameroon or Ambazonians, or whatever the way you want to call it? What agenda do you have for the people? Federalists have not presented an agenda. They move from one angle to another, talking about people coming together and encouraging Cameroonians or Ambazonians to go and vote. That okay, if you go and vote this time around, we are going to win. And when we win, when a federal and the worst of all, they the kind of federation they want for Cameroon. They don't. Is it a two-state federation? No. Is it a one? I mean, a 10-state federation? They have not defined that. That is something that is very far from them because they could not. They cannot summon the courage to come out with something that is very convincing to people. I have this thing to say. I don't know whether we Ambazonians or people from the that south.
I think Dr. Atienjo is frozen there. Okay, go on, please. Dr. Atienjo, go on.
Okay. I don't know whether we are cursed. Okay, I don't know whether we are cursed in southern Cameroons because everyone wants to be a leader. You want to form a group. Once you see that you are no more having that position of leadership in that group, you run away and you go into a hiatus. You go and hide somewhere, hibernate. And when things get warmer, you get up. Like for instance, my comrade Atam Milan. This is somebody who was very close to Seseko, and since Seseko was abducted and put in the dungeon in Yaoundé, he has just gone silent. I was expecting that he was going to lead the cause for their liberation, to cry for their liberation. But this guy disappeared, and now he is resurfacing to cajole people to follow him. Where did he abandon? When I mean, he abandoned the IG, which was an idea from him, and now he is now trying to form alliance, Southern Cameroon's an alliance. I have a common solution here, or a proposal to make here. This idea of a referendum is an idea that is very inclusive in the sense that the opinions of federalists is going to be represented in a referendum. The opinion of separate of independentists is going to be represented in a referendum, and the idea of a united Cameroon, or indivisible Cameroon, is going to be represented in the in a referendum. I don't know why we keep on breaking ourselves apart and creating many groups in order to thinking that we are doing the same thing, thinking that we can expect different results. It's not going to happen like that. Time for Ambazonians to start thinking out of the box now. This idea of a referendum is something that can put our people together, and then we go now with our different opinions or divergent opinions that we have. We go to the poll and vote for that and see which opinion is going to win the day. So I see this document as a manipulation of Ambazonians, and I want to add my voice to that of Comrade Chris here that if we Ambazonia, we need to exercise our vigilance. Now, if you have never been vigilant, you are going to see many of these groups pop up because of people who are so hungry and want to be in position of control. And this is something that we need to guard against and make sure that we implement within our own ways of operating in this revolution. Because yes, I saw in a message he wrote, he wrote something in the message he sent to you, Comrade Chris. He said, "Oh, if you decide to join us, you can do it whenever, but we are going to continue to pursue the agenda we have for the for Southern Cameroons." And then he mentioned somewhere there that okay, and he is also extending a hand of fellowship to the people of A Gulf C. Only if they will have the time to, he said, if their leader is not dragged to the Hague for the crimes, or International Court of Justice for the crimes that he committed. I think in this revolution we are out for solidarity for our brothers and sisters, our comrades that we have been fighting for a common cause. Well, Comrade Ayaba might have done these atrocities, but I don't think that you should stand there and wish for him to be dragged into the International Court of Justice. I mean, that is the way I feel like a comrade. but we can always work together. There's always a common point which we should work towards. So you cannot be vindictive the way you do things and the way you treat other comrades who do not have your own opinion. You have to be inclusive, wish them well while you struggle for the right thing to be done. That is what I can say here. Thank you.
Let me get to Derek. Derek, you were there at the very beginning of this Ambazonian struggle. At least I'm talking about this latter part of the struggle from 2016. Milan Atam was briefly here, and then around 2017-18, after Sisiko picked up, he disappears, and then now he reappears, and he wants everybody to come and join him. Give me your take on that kind of mentality.
Thank you, Comrade Chris. You see, the Ambazonian liberation struggle has been like, it's like a vehicle that everybody wants to make himself a driver and then just jump in without having passed through the driving school. And you see, what I mean here by the driving school here is representing the whole concept of the Ambazonian liberation struggle. If you see, most of you, most of you, Comrade Chris, most of you don't actually understand what the Ambazonian problem is. I'm sorry to say this, but I see that most of you don't understand it. You, the leaders, you don't. And I challenge any of you for a debate on this. They don't, because if you actually understood what the Ambazonian liberation struggle is all about, there will be nothing about federation coming up around the Ambazonia territory. There is nothing like federation that will come up around the Ambazonian territory. And that is a message that even Cameroon government was trying to put to the minds of the Ambazonian people, that look, that federation, your parents, your grandparents even rejected it. So you cannot even bring it up. But it's not unfortunate that, we had people made themselves leaders and, created groups without even having the vision about what the Ambazonian struggle is all about. Comrade Chris, the Ambazonian liberation struggle has just one and only one objective, which is to lead the people of Ambazonia to total self-governance, to reclaim their sovereignty, which will lead them to total independence. There is nothing else around that. And that is why our parents who brought us into this constitutional shit, because we are in a constitutional shit, before they left, they had struggled to put in place the path where we can now, the children that come, that us, their children, will have to follow in order to get a peaceful separation from Cameroon. And that was well drafted by Dr. Folong and even handed to Pagochi Dinka, and they asked him to look it through the eyes of law and put it in that way. And even the social order, the book called The Social Order that Gojidinka wrote, is not from they are not his ideas. I challenged any member of RUA to come for a debate. Those are the ideas that were given to him to write. And then he came up with that book, although he said that it's the one. It is well explained there. How will our people be liberated from Egypt, the bondage we've taken them inside? And it was clearly stated that they will have to follow the path of the sovereignty doctrine, which has just two objectives. One is to either call for a referendum where the people of Ambazonia, who took themselves willfully and handed to Cameroon, to decide, let this generation decide now if they want to continue there or to leave, which means there are two questions to be asked. So even the other speaker who said the idea of federalism will be reflected, the idea of, you see, I don't buy that. Those are concepts that fall, those are concepts that do not fall within the Ambazonia liberation struggle, the idea of the Ambazonia liberation struggle. It is simple. 2 questions, binary question. Do you want to continue, do you want to remain with Cameroon, or do you want to leave Cameroon and be in your territory? Simple. That is the Ambazonian struggle. So when you see people like after Milan going round and round and round and coming to tell us of self-determination and blah, 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 you start asking yourself if they really understand what the Ambazonian liberation is all about. They don't understand. And it is for us who actually are out there, Comrade Chris, people like you, like Dr. My co-panelist, that's Dr. Julius, is it Julius or Achenja? It is for us who are national, those of us who are independentists to go out there and stop these guys. Because what they are bringing is confusion. Cameroon itself does not know federation. They don't. And as I said, that was the message the government was trying to tell our people. Because they have tried that in AAC 1, they failed. They brought it in AAC 2, that AAC 1 in 1991 and in 1994 in Bamenda. And finally, because it failed, the government even refused. If you look paragraphs 6, 7, and even 8, it made it very clearly, the Bamenda Proclamation, that if the government of La République du Cameroon fails to return to the 2-state federation, then we will have to declare ourselves independent. It was simple. They didn't say that we were going to form a federation, we were going to form this, we are going to be federalists and union. No, it made it very clearly the 2 countries should go away. And why was that? It's because Cameroon has gone away. It is us following them behind like, what will I say, a fowl that sees, you want to capture a trocon, is just going inside the cage. He's even forgetting that he's entering the cage. That's what Cameroon is doing. But they had left us far back from 1972. After the fake referendum was conducted, Cameroon returned to its sovereignty. We should understand that Cameroon, by accepting that they want to join us in a confederation, was already reducing itself from a state, from a full state. Because there is a difference when you hear of a federal state, like you have Nigeria. There's a difference from to have a federal state and to have a state like Cameroon, or like where you have Gabon. A country like Gabon, that is your full sovereignty if it is given to you, although France is controlling. Let's take a country like Ghana. Imagine that you tell Ghana now that you should go and form a federation with Nigeria. That will be reducing Ghana. It's just like you been in a mountain and then they bring you back to the base. And that is what the parliamentarians in Cameroon were against when Ayujo proposed to them this damn shit that has brought us into it. They were against. They said, no, how could you bring us so low? We are a country. You want to bring us in another thing called federation where we will reduce our status? And then Ayujo told them that, no, be quiet. Be calm, please. This is just a way to bring back our territory that was taken away from us. It is clearly written. If you go and read the CNU Congress resolution, he said, no, we will just bring ourselves low. Let's reduce our state. Then we bring these people in. When we bring them, then we will elevate our state, our status back. And that is what Mr. Paul Biya did. He re-elevated Cameroon back to that status. They collected back everything that belonged to that state when he had his independence. So it is very clear for us to see.
Absolutely.
To see that even Cameroon is telling us that they don't want federation. You either be with us or you go your separate way. It's very simple.
It is very simple. For 8 years and counting, October will make it the 9th year. And Cameroon has not said, oh, let's look at federation.
They have not.
Yet we'll find these guys out there clamoring for federation. I was listening to an audio and somebody asked a question. So, when a lot of people doesn't give you federation, what is your fallback position? Grand national dialogue or special status? Isn't it? Dr. Atejo, come in here.
Comrade Chris, those are wolves. Those are wolves who are just ready to grab anything. Those are people who do not know what, just as I said, there are people who don't know what the Ambazonia liberation struggle is. It's all about, and we should know that.
No. I think that's an understatement, comrade. I think the problem, it is not like they don't know what it is. They don't know what they want. They want to be in the middle. They see the horizon beaming with hope, and they just don't want to miss the moment. And they said, okay, let's come up with something. Let's say we are bringing the federalism, civil society, the independence. We'll bring everybody into the same pot and give a semblance of, oh, finally, unity is here. That's what it is. It is grandstanding. That's what it is, Dr. Atienjo.
But, Comrade Chris, let me say something there. When we talk of unity, what is the purpose of the unity? If we are talking of independence, the only thing that can bring independences together, the only thing that can make us know that we have unity is when we rally behind a sovereignty doctrine that preaches about calling for a referendum or looking for a country that can take our case at the ICG. But what is it? ICG, no, the International Court of Justice. So, but that is a long process. But the easiest way, as our parents put it, was for a referendum to be given to our people to decide. Because the parents said that, what did they say? Say, okay, we are gone. We have made a mistake, we've blundered. But look, you guys come and fight. Fight and ask the international community to give you a referendum. They didn't say a plebiscite. There's something that we have to take note here. Our parents didn't say plebiscite, they said a referendum. Why? Because a referendum is constitutional, it is law binding. But a plebiscite is not. And you see, the United Nations was very
and that is the reason why I explained, I think a week ago, that often our people think that the plebiscite vote was binding. It was an authorization to join Nigeria or join La Republic of Cameroon. And I said, no, it was a sampling. A plebiscite is a sampling.
Even up to date, Chris, is not binding. Yeah. Even up to date, it is not binding. And that is why, to make it, you see, that's what, to make it binding, that is why France advised Mr. Ayijo to quickly carry out a referendum. And the referendum was quickly put on 20th of May, 1972. Why? Because the world was already getting informed that, hey, there is something going on in that part of the country that is not good. Cameroon is trying to annex this territory, but of which Cameroon had already done so. But now France advised them to carry out a referendum so that they will say that, oh no, it is constitutional. The people themselves choose to do that, and it is binding. So we have to be very careful when we are discussing the Ambazonia liberation struggle. So our parents chose that, knowing we fully that since Cameroon has done a fraudulent referendum, they are keeping us there through our own parliamentarians, because it is them justifying that referendum up to date. All those people you see them there, those councillors, those parliamentarians, still there. They are the ones justifying that fraudulent referendum.
All right, let's get to Dr. Tejo and hear what the thought he has. Then we can open the phone lines.
Exactly.
Yes. So what I can say here is that there's never a day that La République has ever made a statement about entertained any conversation about federation. So it really puzzles me, because the federalists, they move around preaching, and they have never had that reception that, okay, let us entertain your idea. What do you have on the table? You want a federation? And that's why I said I said here earlier that first of all, the federation they are even talking about, they have not even able, they have not gone to a level of defining the kind of the federation, because they have not been given the opportunity to even explain themselves or to even explain anything when it comes to federation. So it's just a waste of time for them to be moving around and talk about federation, which is something that the Republic doesn't have in its agenda to even entertain them. Okay, now when looking at the document that has been presented here, it is very clear that this is a manipulation, is a stage that they are setting for people to confuse us from what we have been doing. I saw that in the memorandum, they actually expressed that for 8 years nothing has been done. Okay, Mr. Milan, so after the abduction of the of Naira 10, he absconded, he had disappeared to come back 7 years. Now, who is he trying to? Who is he going to bring together now? If people were not there fighting for the revolution to be where it is at this moment, who would he have come to call to come and meet him in alliance or Southern Cameroon's alliance? So it really puzzles me, and it's so disappointing to see that we still keep on dividing ourselves, because we really need to come behind, wrap ourselves under in unity of opinion about our independence movement, not about distractions about federation or calling the civil society coming with their own ideas of indivisible Cameroon and all those things like that. That is not what we have long past that stage. We need to be thinking about how we are going to organize ourselves to educate our people about how a referendum should be conducted for the independence of Ambazonia, a country, because we were not, first of all, we were not part of Cameroon in the first place. We've never been part of Cameroon. It's just the fact that this the idea of the Franks manipulating and doing all what they did in the form of a plebiscite, which was not binding, is putting us in this position. But we have learned the mistakes. We know that our forefathers made a mistake, and we cannot continue to live in that mistake. We need to keep on bring change to the cause and make it work for our people. So Ambazonians need to sit down, understand what is going on, not to allow all these detractors to come on board and cause more confusion.
I think you asked a very good question there. Once they picked up Sisiko and the rest, Milam Atam disappeared, and then suddenly he is all back and with a new thing. The question is, if some of you were not here to keep the touch on, where you would be? Where would you be going back to talking about? I guess a pro-independence caucus, right, Comrade Derek?
Maybe we're going to the mass. You see, those are people. You see, when I see such actions, there are people who, I see people who actually don't want to see Ambazonia be a free country. Because all along we have been talking about unity. And when I look at their agenda, there's no unity in purpose. What is their unity all about?
Yeah.
And as I've said, the only unity we can have that will bring Ambazonia free is for us to come together, push the international community to call to ask Cameroon to allow a referendum to come to our territory. So our people who have the sovereign power can now decide where they want to belong. And just two questions. Do you want to remain with Cameroon or do you want to leave? Finish. They don't want to do. Yeah, there will be nothing like you want to be a federalist.
That is a question. And when you talk about unity of purpose, where is it found within Milan Atam's pro-independent caucus?
That is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't find it. You just talk of unity.
So they've just created a cacophony that if they try to move on with it, they set us back, because people in the international community will say they don't even all agree on independence. Some are federalists, independentists, and civil society all join together, and then you have the real independentists who are working together at a consultative commission. I don't know whether some of these people are cursed or why they cannot think right, they cannot reason right. If Milan Atam had said, hey, you know what, I have this group, let's see how we can all work together. Let's leave the federalists on that side, let them run their own agenda, pursue their own agenda, let's pursue our independent cause. It would make a lot of sense to me. It would make a lot of sense to me. But I see him trying to do something, trying to grab a group there, grab a group here, grab a group there, so you can say, I have everybody on board. I have everybody. Comrades, please stay put in there. I'm going to take a short break out. When I come back, I'll open the phone lines. Please do not go anywhere. I will be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform aims to become the go-to resource as you navigate the complexities of settling into a new country. Thrive America, the flagship model, offers personalized coaching and assistance to newly arrived individuals into the country through a concierge service and one-stop resource on your phone. The app supports essential areas of integration, such as job search strategies, benefits applications, financial literacy, credit repair, legal guidance, and more. The platform
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put out there. At this moment, we are going to open the phone lines. So many of you out there who would love to contribute. Now, if you are joining on the social media, I would love you to know we have changed our Facebook platform, which is why I see so few people on the new page. But I see YouTube is doing just great, just great. YouTube has actually tripled or more than quadrupled the numbers that we used to find on the Facebook. If you are watching by way of YouTube, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can always have the notifications sent to you each time we are coming live. So at this moment, the phone lines will be open. You can call in and contribute and stay on the subject. Please, you can talk about anything that we have discussed today. Anything that we have discussed today, you can talk on any of those subjects. The phone line is there on your screen, but make sure that you turn down the volume of your set. Make sure you turn down the volume of your set before you call to contribute. And I like to make, while waiting for your calls, I like to make an appeal. ABS needs your support. to stay on satellite. ABS is the soul, ladies and gentlemen, of this independent movement. And there is no way we can pass our message around, especially to ground zero, without ABS. When ABS is shut down, you know what that can mean to our comrades on the ground. But we need to keep ABS running on satellite. I want to appeal to you. We don't want ABS shutting down, and then we start running around looking for people to contribute to pay the bill. I know there are people out there. There are 10 people out there who can say today, Comrade Chris, I will put down $500 for ABS for the next bill. We spend close to $4,000 each month. $4,000 each month to keep ABS coming to you, to enable us to do what we do. That's a lot of money every month, but it is necessary. In this movement, independence movement, there are only three things: communication, firepower, and diplomacy. You can't do without any of them. Impossible. You can't do without any of them. And so I'm really pleading to all of you out there listening to me. I need 10 people who can, between now and the rest of the week, come up with $500 each. And you can go to the website absafricatv.com and make your contribution. I will come back to that. Let me get to this caller here. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Okay. What is on your mind?
What is on my mind is...
We can hear you, sir. Your voice is very low.
Yeah, I said that what is on my mind is the topic of...
Again, we can't hear you. Oh, hold on. Is the problem here? Hold on. Yes, go on. What is on your mind?
I said that what is in my mind is the topic of Benin.
Okay, yes,
Benin,
sir.
What happened in Benin?
All right, go on, sir. What do you know?
You know what actually happened in Benin? There are some rook guys that are calling themselves Amber guys that goes around and threaten the community. They have, in short, they have caused a lot of pains in the life of the community. So what happened in Benin there is not something that is surprising me. It's something that it has been a pain in the heart of those people. They have tried to resist, but you see, there is no way that they can resist anymore. They have to take action. So what happened there is to give all those rogue fighters that they are doing all those type of rubbish thing that they are doing in southern Cameroon. Instead to go and fight the military, they are coming to hurt their own people. Yeah. It is very painful, and I'm also happy about the ADF general that was being killed in a hotel. How can a fighter, a man that is saying he's fighting for the people, is living in a hotel in Bamenda Tang, is living and enjoy his life there with years? Right. So you see, everything is happening according to the plan of God, so that all those rogue, all those thieves, they will be wiped out, because they are the one holding this struggle behind. So I want God to set sample even for those that are in diaspora, that they should start facing their karma, as Ayabacho has faced his own. I believe how do they Capo Daniel should also face his own. Many of them, they should face their own. So that is the topic of my mind today. And I also watched a video that when you started the show, you play a video that Biya was speaking English. He spoke something. He spoke something that there's two Cameroon, two government. He spoke of that. There is a two government in Cameroon, so they have to come to mutual understanding to see that the United States will bring peace.
He said Cameroon is bilingual, English and French.
Yes, and they have two government.
Yeah. Hold on. Let others listen to that. Hold on. Let's get the technician to play that audio for us, please.
Yes, he said that
Okay, let's listen. Let's listen. Hold on. Let's listen.
I think this is a Cameroonian press, Mr. President.
Our nation is bilingual, English and French,
English and
and
French.
is therefore fertile ground for American investors. Our two governments have signed an agreement on the reciprocal protection of investments,
Yeah, when they said
which will certainly encourage them. Assistance from the American government has been of great help to us, particularly in the fields of agriculture, education, and health. We do appreciate the contribution of the United States to our social life and hope that.
But you see, the thing is, I was shocked when I came across this footage because I could never, but if you told me, I would never believe that Biya can actually speak English this fluently to the extent of reading an entire speech in English. In English.
The man is a crook. Is a high criminal. Yes, he knows everything. He can even write English very well.
I believe, of course, if he can speak it that fluently and read it that fluently, then he can't write. All right. Thank you for the call.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the phone line remains open. Go ahead and call in with your contribution. Let me know what is on your mind. Listen to. Let me get to my panel here and see and hear what they think about Biya speaking English here very fluently in America in the days of Ronald Reagan. Comrade Derry, what do you think of watching Biya speak English?
I think most people who don't, you see, comrade, most of our French brothers, are jealous, when they hear or speak English. Most of them would like their children to go to English schools, and that's what they have been doing. And likewise, Mr. Biya, if you look his children, most of them don't live in French-speaking countries. They live but in English-speaking countries, and you can hear the daughter speaking very good English. So Mr. Biya is a French agent who was placed in that position to do his job. His job was to transform us to be French-speaking Cameroonians, as he puts it.
Yeah.
So if he refuses to speak or read anything in English or speak both languages when he's addressing us, he's doing it on purpose.
Right.
Because the French government wants him to do that. And don't forget, Ahijo himself was criticized for that. And when Cameroon applied to join the Francophonie, they rejected the application. They told Ahijo that, look, you go in Francophonie, we don't know anything like bilingualism. You are either French or you are not. That's what they told him. So the Cameroon application was rejected. And that's what forced them to transform Cameroon into a Francophone state by starting with the fake referendum. And Mr. Biya finally, after pressure, when Cameroon was admitted in the Francophonie, with pressure now, he now declared Cameroon as one state because they were having problem in the Francophonie. They told them, no, we don't accept any country with that has two languages here. So you have to transform that country to a French country. And that is what he did. And from there, he never wanted to speak English. He never wanted to, everywhere he goes, he represents Cameroon as a Francophone state. are not as a bilingual state as you hear him speak there now. I think he was just saying that because he was in America. Maybe he wants some changes to be given to him. So
Dr. Atienjo, Mr. Biya goes to Bamenda, speaks in French. Goes to Boya, speaks in French. Comes to America, speaks in English. What do you make of that?
This is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, double standards, and an attempt to is a deliberate attempt to undermine the power of the Anglo-Saxon system. Yes, and also undermine our people, politicians, and people from Ambazonia, because in those days these people were looked upon as second-class citizens of Cameroon, and that is something that we have not realized. Many Ambazonians have not been able to see through the lens. It's because of the fact that they are so blind, they are so satisfied with picking crumbs from under the table, and when they give them appointments, you see, even when Mr. Tanganji was appointed Minister of Territorial Administration, you know, that ministry used to be Territorial Administration and Decentralization.
Correct.
So and then that ministry was a minister. The minister who was manning that ministry was Minister of State. So when they gave it to Mr. Tanganji, they broke it into two: Ministry of Decentralization and Ministry of Territorial Administration. And now the position of the minister, the power of the minister was reduced to just a normal minister, not a minister of state. So you can see the discrimination that has always been.
So, if I may,
they don't care about.
I mean, this is a rhetorical question. What is the difference between Minister of Territorial Administration and Minister of Decentralization? What are their portfolios?
The decentralization is in charge of the operations, like when you have they drew up the decentralization code in order to deceive us that, okay, power is being removed from decentralized from Yaoundé and spread to the different regions and all to the level of the councils. And then when you talk about the Ministry of Interior, or you call it Territorial Administration, they are in charge of the different regions and different departments and sub-departments or the subdivisions, and where they deal with purely administration, like the senior divisional officer, or the divisional officers, the prefect, and whatever they call it. Those are people under the Ministry of Territorial Administration. Territorial integrity of the country, that is what it's doing. But when it comes to management of funds and all those things like that, they will pilot those things through the Ministry of Decentralization, because that is the ministry that is charged with trickling everything to the level of the grassroots, where the councils are empowered now. Even DOs now are beggars. They beg from the mayors, because the mayors are financially, economically stronger than the DOs. But it used to be strong in the other way around.
The mayors are made to report to the DOs.
Well, they are made to. They are made to report to the DO in terms of administration, but when it comes to they have removed those powers. Seriously, those powers they have been stripped off. Yes, they have been stripped of those powers. The mayors are very powerful now, and they have the economic power. They even have influence in terms of development or all those things. They are the ones that are doing it, and they only kind of bring in the senior divisional officer to like oversee them, how they coordinate affairs like contract awards and all those things like that. But in terms of money, running the money and having the money, interest is the money. So that is where the mayors have that control, and the DOs are begging from the mayors. Yes. That is why mayors can impose on the DOs to do something. I need you to use your administrative stamp, and I need this thing to go through, and so forth and so on. I don't want to go out there to this. There are a lot that there's a lot that is going on with the funny decentralization law that is going on, and that has empowered the mayors even more than the DOs.
That's interesting. All right.
So that is what I can say here in terms of how this speech was read in the United States, because Mr. Biya was begging.
Yeah. All right, comrade. Listen, thank you for coming on to be with me on the show. You guys have a great evening there.
Thank you, Comrade Chris. It was a pleasure having you, my comrade Derek. My pleasure seeing you.
All right.
Thank you, comrade. And good night. And I pray that we push for the referendum issue in Ambazonia. Let Ambazonia unite. That idea of unity should always be centered on pushing the world for to call for a referendum in our territory. Let our people decide with their because they are the ones with the constitutional power. They are the ones with everything. So let them go to the polls and decide where they want to, and let them provide just two questions. Do we want to remain with Cameroon or do we want to leave? Finish.
Hello, hold the line. All right, comrades, thank you for coming on the show. You guys have a great evening, sirs.
Thank you, sir.
All right, hello. Hello,
Comrade Chris, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. You are calling from the great state of Ngo, Ketunjia, correct?
Correct, Comrade Chris. I'm calling from Gokutunja County.
Okay, what is on your mind, sir?
Yes, Comrade Chris, I just want to talk about at Milan.
Okay.
Yes, after Milan plotted the abduction of the Naira 10, he went on
No, hold on there. I know we have our differences in how we pursue this movement, this war, but I wouldn't say that he plotted the adoption of the Naira 10 because there is no proof to that. So let's keep it civil. Yeah, go on, please.
All right. I say he went on the ground, and then now noticing that, with the coming of Donald Trump, it is going all over that this Ambazonia fight will resurface in a very strong way. He's been used by our enemy to come back and try to confuse us again. Yeah. But I think that is his main mission, because I don't see why he should be coming back today to talk about what.
Well, we would want everybody who has been at the peripheries to come back, but come back. Let's join our hands and do it together. Not come back and try to start with seats of division.
That is it. He should come back and align. He should come back and align. Not trying to create. Hello?
Yes, go on, I'm hearing you.
Yes. So I'm saying that he's coming back. He should come back and align with others who were in the race since when he left.
Correct.
Yes. Correct. I think that is what I have to talk about Milan. Then talking about this ADF fighter who was killed. I think he himself, he should be responsible for his own death. And as somebody said, this is the more reason why they are carrying out random abduction in order to pay their bills in the hotels where they are living and so on. Yet they begin to claim they are fighting for the Ambazonian independence. They have started to expose their shortcomings. Have started to expose themselves. They are showing to us that they were not really serious in this fight. I think this is the simple message
Now
that is going through.
Now tell me, did he own the hotel, this hotel, Lira Hotel in Bamenda? Did this guy own? Because since I read something like he owned the hotel and was living there and sending his guys to go out, kidnap people, extort them, take ransoms, and return to him in the hotel. Did he own the hotel?
Comrade Chris, I don't have any information about that. But if that is the case, then it should be a great news. If he owns a hotel, a fighter, a freedom fighter owns a hotel and living in a hotel, I mean, it shows how less serious they are. Because if truly you are a freedom fighter, even if you own a hotel, you are not supposed to live in that hotel.
Right.
So
I tell you, if freedom fighter doesn't live in the hotel, the luxury of a hotel, it was all business that AGOC was benefiting from.
Of course, it could be the handiwork of AGOC, setting up a structure.
Yeah.
Maybe he was running the structure as a personal thing in order to hide their misdeeds, in order to hide it from people, not to know that is what they are doing. It is very, very possible. Who knows?
Well, thank you for the call, sir.
You're welcome, Comrade Chris. Have a nice evening.
All right, have a nice evening. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to end the show right there. But before I go, I just want to repeat the appeal that I was making a few minutes before calls started coming in. We need 10 people out there. We need 10 people. ABS needs 10 people out there who can chip in $500 each to take care of the bills in the coming months. Again, as I stated earlier, there are three things in this movement, this struggle, that we cannot do without. It is communication, it is firepower, and it is diplomacy. These three, you can't separate them. But we are getting to a point where we are struggling to meet these bills, and I'm not ashamed to say that if we cannot pay it, we cannot keep it. But please, I know there are good independentists, Ambazonians out there who would want to say, Comrade Chris, I want to give ABS $500 to keep it on the air. You can reach me on the number you find on your screen there after the show, or you can text me there. Or another option is go to the website, absafricatv.com. absafricatv.com. On the top right hand of the side, you will see a donate button, and you can use that button to donate. If you want to do Zelle, Cash App, send a message on the phone line you find on your screen, and we will be able to give you those payment options. But I really want to appreciate you. I hope you respond. Please, let us put our money where our mouth belongs. Thank you very much, and I look forward to being back here on Wednesday. I will be out here on Wednesday. I know I will. So please, I look forward to seeing you. And when you send in your $500 on Wednesday, I will announce it. I will announce it. But if you don't want it announced, don't be worried. Of course, it will not be announced, but you will be acknowledged. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you have a great night.